seniors, welcome back. I'm so excited to start Unit 2 with you guys. We rocked Unit 1, so now we need to take it up a notch. I think you guys are going to like this unit because a lot of it is very algebraic based, and this is a lot of the stuff you guys are going to see in high school. So, let's go ahead and jump right in. On your notes page, go ahead and draw your line, and go ahead and write solving equations in the top left-hand corner. You don't have to write all of this. I'm going to tell you what to write, so just be with me for the moment. All right, when I'm solving equations, the first thing I need to do is find my variable. And my variable is going to be any number that looks weird in the equation because it's going to be represented as a letter. Most often, the variable will be represented with the letter X. But it could be A, it could be W, it could be any letter. So our first step is to find the variable. Our second is to combine the constants. And then whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. And then our last two steps, and these are the ones I want you to write down, is to isolate our variable. So go ahead and write isolate the variable on your notes page. And our last step is to check our work by plugging our answer back in. So oftentimes with equations, we can use algebra to prove that they're true. Let's do an example. Go ahead and draw example 1 on your notes page, and then 15 equals 11 plus b. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I already know what b equals. It has to equal 4 because 11 plus 4 equals 15. But we can prove this using algebra. So let's go ahead and do it. My first step is to identify my variable. I see that my variable is b. I know that my constant is 11 plus b. Now, I need to isolate my variable, so I know I'm going to have to get rid of this 11. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. If I want to get rid of a positive 11, I'm just going to subtract 11. But then if I subtract 11, I have to subtract 11 on both sides. So 15 minus 11 is 4. 11 minus 11 is 0, so I'm just left with b. b equals 4. Now, I can check my work by plugging this back in. Let's go ahead and plug it in. 15 equals 11 plus 4, which is now in place of b. And I know that 11 plus 4 equals 15. So I know that b must equal 4. Let's do another one. Oh, that should say over 4. All right, go ahead and write example 2, and then m over 4 equals 2. Now, again, I'm thinking to myself, I already know what m equals, because I know a number divided by 4 that equals 2. But let's go ahead and do algebra. All right, so my first step is to identify my variable, which I see as m. Now I know that I have to isolate my variable. So in order to get rid of that fraction that has a variable in it, I'm just going to multiply both sides by 4. Because on this side, the 4's will cancel out, and I'm left with m equals 2 times 4 is 8. So I'm left with m equals 8. If I want to check my work, I can just plug it back in. So let's go ahead and do that. If I substitute 8 for m, I'm left with 8 over 4 equals 2. I know that 8 divided by 4 equals 2. And since 2 equals 2, I know that m equals 8. Let's do one more. Oops. All right, example 3. Negative 12 equals negative 8 plus y. Again, I'm going to go through my same step. I identify my variable, which is y. I know that I have to isolate it, so I need to get rid of this negative 8. In order to get rid of my negative 8, I'm going to add 8. And I know whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So negative 12 plus 8 is going to leave me with negative 4, which equals y, because negative 8 plus 8 is 0, so that cancels out. So negative 4 equals y. If I want to check my work, I can just plug negative 4 back in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Negative 12 equals negative 8 plus negative 4, which is in place of the y. Negative 12 stays the same on this side, and I know that negative 8 plus negative 4 is going to give me negative 12. So I know that y equals negative 4. So pretty much our only steps here are to identify our variable, isolate it, and then plug our answer back in to see if we're correct. So this is the first step in a long line of algebra skills that we're going to learn this year. So yeah, all right, I'm going to stop talking. You guys are going to start practicing.